with Wilhock beef jerky.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhock beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win cups with salad.
I'm Saxon, and this is my little sister Goldie. I'm Goldie, and this is my little sister Saxon. Wait a minute. I'm the big sister around here.
And I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV, and these are my granddaughters. They like to help with the holiday commercials. It's sort of a tradition in our family. And since they moved from Australia to Nashville, we get to see them more than ever.
It's nice to live in the same hemisphere with Grandma and Papa.
That's right, Saxon. And at Noble, the holidays are all about family. And really, that's what camping is all about, too.
Maybe I should come work for you at your store, Papa. I can make the Goldie cakes.
Maybe in a few years.
Papa says used RVs are way better than new RVs.
That's right, Saxon. You learn quickly. So what do you have to say to all the people listening on the radio?
Happy Christmas to everyone in Canada.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Oilers in Winnipeg tonight. A chance to close out a strong December. New lines and pairings, trade rumors, oh my, and waivers as well. We'll get into the Buffalo Bills. How does anybody expect them to win a Super Bowl? That and more straight ahead. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner. You're guaranteed a minimum $500 bonus on your new vehicle purchase. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. As you can see, Josh behind me, stylistically changing a few things and making the studio look just right. As you know, we're live on YouTube and Sports 1440 online at iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, and Radio Player Canada. After the show, it's Apple and Spotify podcasts, and we tweet it out on X. We're available on Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, at JFenwick04. Text or call us anytime, 833-401-1440. That's 833-401-1440. Our guest today, Murat Atesh from The Athletic in Winnipeg, will join us at 12:40 today. Rachel unavailable, but she'll be back on Monday, next Monday, and we'll look forward to talking to her. We'll have Murat from Winnipeg. We'll do a little Winnipeg trivia and see how he does. He's from there, so I suspect he'll do really damn well. We have Jason Gregor coming up at 1:20 today. Lineups, Mangiapane, so much to talk about, but we begin with the introductions. His Christmas plans ended up in the ditch, but he made like Tiny Tim and survived Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick. Josh, on the way in, I was driving, and you were in some kind of a small bumper to bumper.
Oh, I came in here yesterday to do a little bit of work that I'd sort of been putting off, personal, in the personal life sort of deal.
Right.
And, I was leaving. I was talking to my buddy on the phone, had him on speaker, whatever, hands free talking to him. But I'm just sitting there waiting to be able to turn left onto 178th Street, 9th Street, whatever. And this guy is coming out from the lower level parking, and he gets mighty close to my car. I'm like, "Whew, good thing he stopped." But I did shoot him a look of like, what the cuss are you doing?
He probably knew you were from Calgary.
Yeah, probably. And then, I was sitting there talking to my buddy on the phone. Like a minute later.
You were on the phone?
Yeah. Talking to him on the speaker.
Hands-free?
Hands-free. I said this already. Keep up, Val.
Well, I didn't hear that part.
And
I don't walk around all day listening to Connor talk. I mean, I did my best.
Yeah. No. And then like a minute later, I would say this guy drove into my car. Not very fast. He went probably 1-2 kilometers an hour. And I shot him a look of like, what the hell are you doing? And he rolled down the window, was very quick to like try and talk to me, but I just pointed at the front of my car was like, is it good or bad? And he said, oh, it's good. I trusted him. He left. I got home. Front of the car was okay.
Well, there you go.
All he did was crush the ice off of it, essentially.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
He watched football all week, plus whatever the bloody blue blazes you call what the Buffalo Bills were doing last night. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger. What the hell was that?
I was like, the roar of the crowd.
No, I mean, like Allen fumbles the ball and it goes 11 miles.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're absolutely right. Listen, it wasn't a great game. And we were talking about this before the show. Like, a lot of people have kind of, and I think me and Josh have been in this camp, and as recently as last Tuesday, picking the Bills to still win the AFC just because of Josh Allen and his big game experience. And with all respect, he is the best quarterback of the quarterbacks who are going to be in the playoffs, likely, unless, we'll see what happens with the Ravens Steelers. But like, man, there is a lot about this team that you just don't like. Can't stop the run, can't score the ball. Flubbing it in big situations like that 2-point convert. So yeah, things aren't great. I'm not feeling super good as an NFL fan right now. I like Oregon's chances against Texas Tech, but yeah, I don't know. Listen, great holidays. That's what it's about.
Getting some comments on YouTube about my hair. I washed it about 6:00 last night. I did dry it a little bit. Then I went to sleep around 9:30. And so that's what it looks like. I am not a member of a flock of seagulls, nor have I ever been.
Chat, clip that. He just took responsibility for his own hair. He didn't blame it on me this time.
Well, that was an oversight on
This
my
is
part.
huge.
All right. So there's so much to get to.
Hurricanes claim Noah Philp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's an interesting move. Right-handed center, right? They have real value. It's like right-handed center, right-handed defenseman, they're unicorns. Wow. What if they meet in the final? Philip scores game 7 in the overtime.
It's possible.
I'm just getting ahead of myself a little bit. Here's the lines and pairings, then we're going to talk about Mangiapane and other things. McDavid with Nuge and Hyman, Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Savoy. Where's Roslovic? Aha. Roslovic is playing third line center with Frederick and Janmark, maybe Jones. Mr. Jones. Henrique is with Mangiapane and Lazar. Put a little bit of a pin in Mangiapane. We're going to talk about in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stastny. Stillman with Emerson and Regula likely to sit. Had a tough game on Saturday. That one play was not good. And then Pickard will start. You guys want to talk while I cough?
Man, here's the thing. That giveaway by Regula that led to Lundberg's goal. First of all, hilarious player to score because he's so bad offensively at hockey. I think he has six
shots on
three
goal,
goals
3 goals. Oh yeah,
but here's the
50%
thing.
clip. Give them.
Here's the
give
thing
them the
about
puck more.
Here's the thing about the turnover. Like, it was obviously bad, but it's almost like I don't even blame him. Like, when is Lundberg ever there? Like, obviously,
well, honest to God, I felt bad for him because it's like I saw Eric Brewer do that.
It was
once.
honestly just like funny.
And you like it's like it's like if the Three Stooges played hockey, and he's way better than that. And they're sitting him, I think, because of a lack of confidence. But like, it is funny. You're right. But and there, what's that line there? But for the love of God, go I, or whatever. That's what it is. I'm glad it was him and not me. Like, I could play in the NHL.
But like, I don't like, sorry, I'll just say this really quickly before I send it back to you guys. Like, there's some turnovers where defensemen, or maybe more aptly for us, Oilers defensemen make, where I'm just like, what are you doing? That's like, this is why I think people think you're a bad player. Like, I didn't feel like that with Regula's turnover there.
Yeah. Nurse, by the way, is playing much better. Not getting a lot of credit because people don't like to credit Nurse, but he is. Okay. Elliot Friedman mentioned that Andrew Mangiapane and Noah Philp, who's now been claimed by Carolina, were possible trade options. Apparently, Mangiapane is open to waiving if they can find him a team who will play him more than he's playing in Edmonton. And I've gone on rants before about this, and I'm not going to today because it's the Christmas season, and everybody is driving so courteously, and you don't hear any profanity anywhere. Peace on earth, good park. So here's the bottom line. Every summer, the general manager signs a bunch of guys, and then in the fall and winter, the coach doesn't find a role for them. This has been happening for a long time. And sometimes it's injury. Connor Brown, maybe Trent Frederick, I don't know. But this is why you want to have a system, because when you're signing 6s and 7s and 9s to big contracts, then you're not helping the Jacks, the Aces, and the Kings. Tonight, Matt Savoy is going to be playing on a skill line. He's a better bet long-term than Mangiapane or Frederick, for that matter. Get those guys. And so I don't know what they're going to do. They're looking apparently for a center. Not sure who it would be. A right-handed would be ideal. I don't think they're going to be able to, unless Mangiapane does waive, then they can use that money to get something better. But right now, I wrote about it in The Athletic, they need a good third line. And my suggestion is, opposed to, they've got Roslovic playing center on the third line right now. My suggestion would be to take Podkolzin off the Draisaitl line and run Nuge on the third line with Podkolzin and say Matt Savoy. That might be a third line that works. You're borrowing from the top two lines, but Draisaitl can play with anybody. And I think if you moved Hyman to left wing, you might be able to use one of the extra right wingers to make it happen. Any thoughts on Philp getting waived and claimed now, and then possibly Mangiapane getting traded? And then I'll just linger for a moment to mention David Tomasik, who's back in Sweden and will likely never play in the NHL again. Any thoughts from either of you?
Yeah, I was just thinking in my brain of like photoshopping jerseys onto Andrew Mangiapane and then making a post of him in a Flames jersey as hey, this team could use a wing who might be able to score.
Microsoft Paint.
Yeah, just hey guys, we photoshopped Andrew Mangiapane into a Flames jersey. Sounds like they could really use him. Hey, you know what? That sucks. I've always liked Mega Payne, so.
I mean, I really like him as a player.
I like him too. It's just, sometimes things don't work out, whatever. Phil, he probably wasn't going to get any more minutes on this team, like with Max Jones and people coming up and whatever, but
I liked Phil.
Yeah, I did too. I hope he does well,
like
but Knobloch didn't.
Yeah, no, it's true. And the thing is, like, I don't want to carry water for these guys who have underperformed, like Mangiapane and Trent Frederick. Like, Trent Frederick, like, I hate to say this on December 29th, but like, my goodness, that contract just looks so horrible right now. And again, so much time and things will reset themselves and off injury. And I get it. I'm just talking in the here and now. As far as David Tomasek, so my understanding was that it was a mutual contract termination.
That's what I heard.
So like, this is kind of what I think. I'll try and make this really quick on David Tomasek. Like, I feel well, David Tomasek came here and he was obviously given skill line opportunities. Early on in the season, he was on the top line. He was playing top six. He was on power play one as the net front guy. And I just think for David Tomasek, like, very quickly, the inner confidence kind of collapsed. And from there, it was a give and take where like David Tomasek himself internally felt he didn't have it at this level. That was, it was represented by how Chris Knobloch felt about him, where he was playing, how much he was playing. Like, it didn't go well. I'm not saying I'm not saying like, oh, they didn't give him the chance he needed or the chance he deserved or anything like that, because I do think he got a shot. But I just think it was a battle of him kind of feeling internally like he didn't have it. Again, that was represented by what the coach did with him. And December 29th, rubber meets the road and you're gone. He'll never play in the NHL again, surely. He gave it a shot. He's going to have another career. He's going to have another 5 years in Sweden. So good for him. I would have liked for it to work out, but it's just the writing on the wall. The writing was on the wall relatively early that these were two parties at odd, and this is the end.
I think that with Frederick, I believe in him. I've seen him play really well. I know that he's not playing well now, but Victor Arvidsson has 15 points, 7 goals in 27 games of the Bruins. Connor Brown, 9 goals in 31 games. Corey Perry, we know about. Skinner's not having a good comeback year. And Evander Kane is playing out on the coast, although I don't know for how long. Vancouver, my God, what a disaster that is. So people are like, buy him out. I would not buy him out. Not 1 year into an 8-year deal. You've got to give him another shot next year. Get him healthy. Hopefully by this spring and by the playoffs he can go. But right now that looks like Stan Bowman's Moby Dick. Can we agree? Like, that's the Lucic deal, although not for as much money annually, because a long time for not much. And you can say it's only $3.8 million, but it's for 8 years.
Matt, like, it's looking like, and I really hate to say this, and again, I can't reiterate enough. It's December 29th of year one, and it's off an injury, but like we're talking one of the worst contracts in the NHL, just because it feels like it's impossible to buy out. it's going to be impossible to move, even though the money's not that
yeah.
crazy. And there's just no role for him here.
Yeah. What you would have to do is you'd have to trade. They
You're
tell
giving
me
something up to have them take you.
The experts tell me every year that on a contract is a first round pick. So it's an 8-year deal. You can't trade him. You can't trade him. You have to find a way.
Giving up 8 first-round picks
so
to offload
what you'd
Trent
have to do is
Frederick.
you'd have to send him to the AHL, and you can't. But at some point in time, the Edmonton Oilers are going to learn not to sign third-line guys to long-term contracts. They haven't yet. They haven't done it yet, but they will. I mean, it takes time sometimes. You're signing third-line guys in 2007 to long-term contracts, and now it's 2025. You'd think they'd learn, but that's not happened yet. I want to talk NFL. I can't help it. The Cleveland Browns win. It sends that whole division into a complete, unanticipated, nutty final. Like next week, what's the best game in the NFL next week?
Oh, hands down, no question. It's Niners Seahawks.
Yeah.
But I hear arguments for the tire fire that will be the Steelers versus the Ravens. Seeing as how I don't think either of those teams can make it out of the first round, out of wild card weekend or whatever. I don't see it.
I know it's like it is. You really are just playing.
You're playing to lose,
to not play anymore. But the one thing I guess I would maybe say is it's not like I really feel like the AFC is pretty wide open. I favor Denver probably number 1 now, and I favor Houston probably number 2. But like I don't know. I don't look at the AFC and just think like, yeah, these guys are absolutely dead on arrival. The way I kind of do, all respect, with the Panthers. If the Panthers end up winning the NFC South, like that's going to be a cool story. It's going to be awesome. They're going to host a playoff game.
They beat the Rams, man.
They did beat the Rams. But you know what I'm saying? Like the AFC feels a little bit more.
What about, before we take a break, I just need to talk about this too, because I thought the Bears 49ers game was lights
awesome.
out, like just incredible. Nobody could stop anybody in that game.
It was so
First
sick.
time in NFL history that in the same game, teams have been tied at 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35 in the same game.
Amazing.
It was awesome sauce.
Yeah.
And Chicago won the division despite losing that game.
Yeah. And, I will say in my lifetime, I don't recall a more explosive offense by the Bears that didn't involve Walter Payton.
There hasn't been one. Like you are so correct, because they have not had any. Well, like Walter Payton's obviously one of the best players ever.
Oh God, yes, and consistent. Oh my God,
the Bears chip for the entire their entire existence is we have Walter Payton, and also our defense all time has been incredible.
Yeah, well, and Singletary looked like he was going to eat you. Before the snap, like they were dangerous.
But Caleb Williams, 230 yards away from being the Bears' first ever 4,000 yard passer.
If they screw this up, then they should just shoot the Bears into the moon, because they got
Gary, Indiana, or Michigan City, Indiana.
Isn't that where they make tires, Gary?
They do make a lot of tires. Who do they play right now as it stands? They play the Pack.
Oh,
that would be a fun game.
That's such a fun
How about the
game.
Pack bringing the quarterback? Where did they get him from?
Malik Willis. They got him from Tennessee.
Nicely done. Quarterback factory, baby.
Liberty University before that, if you can believe it.
And boy, NFL teams don't follow what the Green Bay Packers do about quarterbacks. It's not working. He lied.
Fun fact: yesterday, Malik Willis or PFF gave Malik Willis an adjusted 100% completion rate because his 3 incompletions were 2 drop passes by the receiver, and he was hit while he was throwing.
I want you to, because you're the football experts, I want a concerted, organized, well-framed, well-thought-out, exclusive why Green Bay is so good and why nobody else can figure out how to the quarterback position, and they do all the time.
I don't know how many more times we have to have this argument. You brought it up this morning on the Carius show.
You guys have never given me an acceptable answer.
I think the acceptable answer is that it is unrepeatable.
Why?
You cannot copy it. It is like if you were writing a test and I was writing a test and I wanted to copy off you and you were writing in Cyrillic and I was trying to write in Latin.
Just hire the guy who does this.
Hire the guy who does. What guy?
There's no question it's good scouting. There's no question it's good management, but let's be honest. This is a lot of luck.
Oh, come on.
They-
Luck is one time.
They
This is
happen to draft a Hall of Fame quarterback in Brett Favre, and they get another one in Aaron Rodgers, and they get another really good quarterback in Jordan Love.
I remember Lynn
years.
Dickey. They weren't doing this all the time. Something changed.
There's
Find
a
out.
reason one team has done it in 30 years.
You have one
Counterpoint.
assignment.
You had
I
Mac
guess.
Jones, who was a top 10 pick behind Tom Brady. That didn't pan out. Why? Because it turned out he wasn't that good. You had Andrew
Malik
Luck,
Willis
who
wasn't that
retired
good.
after 5 years, or 6, 8 years, whatever it was.
I'm
sitting behind
giving you
Peyton
until
Manning.
Friday. I want a Friday report about why Green Bay does this and
You-
nobody else
I hope
can.
you're ready
You
to
want
be
to report on
disappointed.
Friday that you like, not the truth.
All right. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide. Going to have to treat both of them like hostile witnesses for the rest of the show. Murata Tesh coming up at 12:40. Jason Gregor at 1:20. Rumors next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
We want orange. Give us the orange. We want orange. Bring back the orange.
You got it, Canada. Booster Juice orange smoothies are back by popular demand. The original, the marathon, and orangesicle smoothies are back and bursting with tangy zest of oranges. They're Canadian favorites. Orange, you glad they're back? Only for a limited time. So squeeze the day, smoothie lovers, and head to a Booster Juice near you now. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. But hurry, it ends January 2nd. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. But hurry in now, it ends January 2nd. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
It's Boxing Week blowout at the Brick. Shop incredible deals in every department, like 60% off sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Get up to 25% off dining and bedroom, up to 50% off select mattresses, and buy more, save more. Up to an extra $400 off select major kitchen appliances. Plus, get a 10% credit for future purchases when you use your Flexity card. OAC terms and conditions apply, and some exclusions apply. The Brick, saving you more.
After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at Encana Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old mom managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Send off your holiday break with Oil Kings Hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Family Fun Sunday, your Edmonton Oil Kings get a rare visit from the Seattle Thunderbirds.
Enjoy the Kids Fun Zone with face painting and bouncy castles.
Plus, score Calma Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is king-sized.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Seattle Thunderbirds, WHL Hockey for the holidays. Family Fun Sunday at 4.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 at 12:23. We're a little late because the two cohorts that I have, my colleagues in the room, were trying to get out of the assignment that I gave them that we'll hear on Friday about how Green Bay gets quarterbacks and nobody else can do it.
You are looking for us to deliver you confirmation bias, and we will not be doing that.
Well, so you're refusing to do the report then?
Yeah, I could say that. I'd say I'm refusing to do the report.
All right.
But at the parent-teacher meetings, I'm going to explain to my parents beforehand how the report was
Well,
moved.
I'm bringing Mrs. Andrews, so good luck.
It's going to be a heck of a meeting.
Lowdown brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. Wish and win event on right now. Everyone's a winner. It is time for Rumors, where we'll have more conflict. Brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. All right, so lots has happened. Noah Philp was claimed on waivers. The Edmonton Oilers reportedly, via Elliot Friedman, are pursuing or at least looking at moving Andrew Mangiapane, who, again, reportedly, has agreed to make a move in terms of trade, waive his contract, if the Oilers can find a team that will play him more, which, I mean, I don't know. Based on how well he's played, there's always San Jose, so it's not over yet. But, by the way, San Jose is playing well.
They are. Macklin's playing very well.
Guy Chouinard was a member of the Calgary Flames and Atlanta Flames and was a really slick centerman for many years. He passed away, and I just want to pass along his name. Certain people of a certain age will remember Guy Chouinard well. Played, I believe, in the Montreal system, which meant that you had to get traded to play, and he certainly did, and he played well. So Guy Chouinard, rest in peace. As you get older, guys will find that all the players that you had hockey cards of pass away on you, and it's sad. And I'm sad to report that on Guy Chouinard. I mentioned about the Oilers and forwards. Mangiapane may be traded. Noah Philp is gone via waivers. They were a little bit over flooded on the wing, not necessarily at center. Wrote about The Athletic today that Henrique is a fourth line center. You've got something. I think the third line center is going to be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Today, the lineup has Jack Roslovic. We will talk to Jason Gregor about the idea of Roslovic. He did play center a little bit in other NHL locales, most recently Carolina, where they used him for quite a bit of the season. By the way, Carolina is the team that picked up Noah Philp, so they've got their right-handed center back. But it's an interesting look into a team that, at least right now, the Edmonton Oilers do appear to be going through a period of transition. We know that Calvin Pickard will start tonight. We know that the third line will be centered by Jack Roslovic, who's not a bad recent winning percentage in the faceoff dot. It's McDavid with Nuge and Hyman. It's Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Savoy. Roslovic with Frederick and Janmark. Maybe Jones, but likely Janmark. And then Henrique with Mangiapane and Lazar. Ekholm Bouchard. Nurse up with Stastny. I like that pairing. I'd like Wallman better. And I think that fans should be prepared for, at some point in time, possibly seeing Wallman, maybe on that second pairing more than anybody. We'll see how it goes. And, of course, health is going to be an issue. Pickard will start. And Ingram, who, by the way, is a story, an emerging story. I'm going to write about it this week, but I think it's there's not enough sample, but it's such a desperate situation, right? Like you're in trouble and you're in real trouble. And so there's not a lot of sample size, but, he looks good. He looks calm in the net. He's got a .915 save percentage. So at some point in time, I say to HE double hockey sticks with the sample size, just play the man. If he ends up with an .833 save percentage in the next 5 games, then maybe you adjust accordingly. But right now, man, I think this is pretty wild. Major Leagues of Baseball still have a ton of free agents out there. And it's post-Christmas now. Usually what happens from now until pitchers and catchers are what, 6 weeks away, maybe 7. They got to start signing guys like Tucker and Bichette and those cats and Framber Valdez. That's got to happen in the next little while. I every week I go into a weekend and I go, okay, there's hockey, there's basketball, and I end up watching more football than I thought I would. But the NFL is just so damn compelling. And it was yesterday with Cleveland's win, the Buffalo Bills unable to protect their quarterback or stop the run. And the run is pretty important. But I have this question that I've been saving. I did mention it to Declan, but I will get Josh's word on it first. Josh, it appears to me every team that has a great quarterback is having a hell of a time protecting that quarterback. A, what does that tell you? And B, does it give teams that don't have a great quarterback maybe an opportunity here if they're well-rounded and have a range of skills and don't have any true weakness?
I think it obviously tells you that either 1, there's not enough good O-linemen in the league. 2, there's no good O-line schemers in the league. Or 3, all the good O-linemen are injured, which is the case for the Chargers. But I don't know. My personal thought on the O-line on O-lines is the same as goalies. Is eventually they're just going to let something up. At some point, a defender is going to break through, and the quarterback's going to have to go on the run. That being said, the defender also has gravity on their side. They're moving forward. They're not protecting from being pushed back.
Is it a matter of the rush ends are so damn good now? We're in the golden era of rush ends.
God, I feel like every team is like, man, their defensive end is incredible. Like, that's great. To be fair, the Steelers this weekend were protecting Aaron Rodgers like a son of a gun because they didn't want him to get sacked when Myles Garrett broke the sack record. So they were scheming hard, and obviously Myles Garrett in his post-game conference was like, yeah, they cared more about stopping me than stopping the team. So I guess that's what they get. Karma, baby. But yeah, I think personally, I think it's probably the scheming of O-lines, especially because now that defenses disguise what their plan is so much. Now you have no idea what kind of rush is going to happen. Or are we going to get blitzed here? All these things. So I think the scheming for O-lines just needs to be better because not every quarterback can scramble like a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, whatever.
Your star quarterback was being criticized by the booth for not reading the rush blitzes in the Buffalo game yesterday. Do you agree with Mr. Brady?
My quarterback?
Well, not your quarterback.
Oh,
I meant Declan.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I thought it was fair. Josh Allen it's funny because early in his career, he was very, very live and die on just kind of improvisation and athleticism and things like that. And his ability to read the defense and his ability to just kind of have his IQ for the game level with his physical ability was never there. And as he's, developed into a quarterback, that's something that's obviously developed with him. And I don't want to say I don't think Josh Allen, I'm not just saying this because he's my quarterback. I think you could say this about other quarterbacks in the league. I don't think Josh Allen has a weakness per se. He has weaker aspects of his game, but I wouldn't say he has a weakness.
Well, he fumbled the ball 60 miles.
That was crazy. Yeah. And listen, early in his career, his lack of ability to control the ball and just how turnover prone he was, that was a weakness. I think he's got away from that, but he still has weak points of his game. And to Brady's credit, obviously Brady knows the game better than I ever could. I think that still is one of his ones that you're ooh, that's the I don't want to call it the missing piece, but that's the piece of the jigsaw puzzle that just looks a little bit out of sync. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say this, and I think you'll agree with me. If the football gods were paying attention, the Bills win that game because there's no way the Eagles should. They were terrible. With the game on the line, they couldn't put one foot in front of another.
Both teams were bad. The Bills didn't really have any reason. They didn't deserve to win the game either, though. And here's the thing, I get the McDermott going for 2 there, just try and win it. I know Tyler Bass missed the earlier one, but I would say the Bills certainly had more momentum, especially off that hook and ladder on that last drive to Ty Johnson. kick
was
the
a
extra
great play.
point, go into overtime, and try and win it there. Now, with Josh Allen, you feel like you can always get a 2-point conversion from the 2-yard line. But, like, honestly, outside of his second year playing football, that was the worst throw I've ever seen him make. He was obviously on the move. It was off his back shoulder. But, like, Khalil Shakir had no one there. And that's a throw he hits 98 times out of 100. That happened to be one of the 2 times he doesn't make it. But, boy, it was bad. It was 2 yards short and 3 yards wide.
Yeah.
With no one there.
Raiders are the Giants are mad at the Raiders for putting a bunch of guys on the unavailable list yesterday because they're going to get the first round pick now. Anything come of this, or is it just not much ado about nothing?
You know, like the whole Raiders team right now is not a whole lot to do about nothing. Like,
is Max Crosby going to get traded this offseason?
I don't know. Maybe. Who cares? Kind of is also where I'm at with the Raiders. Like, they shouldn't be this bad.
They really
shouldn't be this bad. Now, they do have probably, like, honestly, maybe the worst offensive line as a unit in the NFL. It might be them. But still, like, they have some legit talent there. And Geno Smith, like, I know he had one unbelievably horrible season. He was nowhere near this bad last year. Like, there's no reason they should have been this bad. Pete Carroll, Brock Bowers, Max Crosby, Ashton Genty, Geno Smith, like, the line is awful, but still this bad? I don't know.
Anything in the NBA worth talking about?
Nikola Jokic being the great. Oh, actually, also maybe before Nikola Jokic, because we could do forever on that. Scotty Barnes yesterday. Insane game. 23 points, 25 boards, 10 assists.
Nice.
4 stocks, 3 of which I think were steals, but ties the Raptors record for most rebounds in a game. Incredible. Is the second player in 40 years to have a 20-plus point, 25 rebound, 10-plus assist game next to Nikola Jokic since 1980 or something. He's the 9th player to do it. Ludicrous game. This is the crazy part. They were down by the Raptors yesterday were down by 12 in the 4th with about 8 minutes to go. The Raptors then outscored the Warriors 43-17, holding them to 7 for 18 from the field and forcing 8 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Emmanuel Quickley combined for 35 of the Raptors' final 43 points. They all got it done. Scotty Barnes had a crazy assist over his head. Like, it was a nuts game.
And they're ahead of schedule, right?
I would agree. I would say, yeah, they're way ahead of schedule.
Really quickly before the segment ends, speaking of Jokic, since we're talking basketball, I got one for you guys.
I've seen that one.
Nikola Jokic this season scoring more than Shaq's career high, more rebounds than Karl Malone's career high, more assists than Jason Kidd's career high, same field goal percentage as Kareem's career high, and a better 3-point percentage than Larry Bird's career high. Also, the Hawks want to move Trae Young. So that's
Nikola Jokic is the greatest basketball player to ever live.
I would agree.
That's basically just what Deck and I are trying to say. He set the NBA record for most points scored in overtime on Christmas with 18.
It's funny, you can do all this research and you know, you should be doing that quarterback thing that I talked about with the Green Bay Packers.
No, because we're right. And you just don't
that's
want to
not
hear
worth
it.
doing.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't understand why other teams can't do it. You know.
Yeah, just do it. Just
okay,
just
Nike,
do it, guys.
Whatever you say.
All right, Murat Tesh on the way. We're going to do Winnipeg trivia. I don't have anything planned, but we're going to do it anyway. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy cone hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com. The Junior Prospects Hockey League's fourth season is now underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities for players in the 14U, 15U, 17U, and 18U divisions. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups across Western Canada. Players work with experienced coaches, trainers, and elite hockey personnel. Learn more about Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Greger brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action. On Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I'm obviously going to get the McVeggie, medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. It's my favorite meal, and it's new. Plus, if I get that, maybe he'll want it too. And then he'll always thank me for introducing him to the McVeggie. I'll be a hero.
So, McVeggie fries and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a McVeggie meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
I was kissing Valentino by crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, I guess I'm just walking. Leave the table, wish your bed was already made.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Everyone's a winner at Wolf GMC Buick for the Wish and Win event. We're hanging around, waiting for the big game tonight. The Edmonton Oilers in Winnipeg. New lines, new boots. Everybody's wearing their Christmas duds. You can hear Declan in the background calling Murat Atesh at The Athletic. They had a little bit of a connection thing. And I haven't talked to Murat in a while. One of my favorite writers at The Athletic. And a good fellow, really good guy. Has all kinds of interesting stories. And he's a good, caring person. I really enjoy his tweets on X. And looking forward to talking to him after they visit. Declan wants to give him an update on what's going on in his life and talk about the Green Bay Packers quarterback situation. And I don't blame him. He's scrambling for ideas about the assignment that I gave him, which will come Friday. Looking forward to that. Do we have Murat now? No, we don't have Murat now. Seems to be a connection issue. When I do talk to Murat, we'll be talking about the Winnipeg Jets, who are they're in the group of death. It's just the worst, but they're also not having a great year. 15, 17, and 4. They're 2, 5, and 3 in their last 10. They are in 13th in the 15 team conference. They're 5 points back of Calgary, but they do have 2 points in hand. Tough year, and they're looking for results. They're shuffling around. They're moving players in and out. And as I mentioned, they're in a division that includes, gigantor hockey clubs. Do we have Murat now? No, we don't have Murat. What?
He's going to be joining us on StreamYard in just a second.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
little bit of an echo talk back on the phone, so we've
Batting
sent him the link.
fifth. Today. I consider myself luckiest man, face of the earth. What's that from? Thank you. Yeah, that's a very famous moment in sports and life history, because before that, ALS was called ALS. And you do not want to try to pronounce that word. But afterwards, after that event, it was called Lou Gehrig's disease, which is an awful disease. I don't understand why they put Noah Philp on waivers. Young, scored a couple of goals already. Why does this organization throw away decent young players? Well, the coach, they've moved on, right? And if you're not going to play a guy, and specifically on the penalty kill, then he's probably not going to be on the fourth line. So we're now joined by our dear friend, Murat Atesh. Say friend because we don't talk to him a lot. I read him all the time, and I feel like I'm connected to him. How are you, Murat Atesh? Murat, you've chosen an interesting time to mime on the radio, but I think we'll get this right.
Hello.
Oh, hey, how are you? How is it at the space station, Murat? Now we got you now. I'm teasing. How are you, buddy? I haven't talked to you in a while.
You know what? I'm doing real well. I know you'll appreciate this. You're a family guy. We're expecting. So
congratulations.
Thank you very much. If this had been a week or two from now, might not be able to hop on with you, but happy to be here today.
Oh, that's great. I was going to do Winnipeg trivia, but if you have a baby on the way, your brain is in a different place. So I can't even, I can't even in good faith ask you questions like, why do they call it the Forks? Because I don't know if you know that.
I mean, I assume it's just because the rivers cross down there.
Yeah, it is.
A few.
So let's ask questions about the Winnipeg Jets. I was just talking before you came on about I like the Jets. I like this team. I believe they can go places, but they're in what we can call the group of death. Minnesota making trades to shore up. And why? Because Colorado is losing games about as often as the 77 Montreal Canadiens. This is a tough year for the Winnipeg Jets, and I've been reading your stuff, and I know that you're digging down on this and finding out what's going on, but it shouldn't be this way, and yet it is.
Yeah, it's I guess you might call it death by 1,000 paper cuts in a way. I don't think that the Winnipeg Jets are the third worst team in the National Hockey League, as their point totals say that they are, but they're not that elite team that finished first last year. And to get into the why of it, you got to take so many steps. They lose an impact player in Nikolai Ehlers, who made that whole second line hum. They made a big bet on Jonathan Taves, who's on pace for 22 points, the worst offensive output of his career, and they played him like their second line center until just about a week or two ago. You've got injuries where Adam Lowry's taken a step back. He had hip surgery in the offseason. He missed the start and hasn't quite been himself yet. Dylan Samberg, great defenseman, really good defensive defenseman. He broke his wrist to start the season, missed time and took some time to get back. Cole Perfetti isn't scoring. You can go down the list. Connor Hellebuck, whose only games missed prior to this season were to, I think, once he had the flu and once to attend the birth of his child. There's no injury history there, but he missed time too, having his knee scoped. So if it can go wrong, well, in Winnipeg, it mostly has.
There are just seasons that are kind of lost, and this really does appear to be one for Winnipeg. So is management, saying the right things, but looking in the long view, and could we see an active trade deadline for Winnipeg in terms of sell-offs?
Yeah, it's not traditionally Winnipeg's style to play the asset game, sell all the guys that they just signed, but they've done mild selling in the past, including moving a pending free agent in Andrew Kopp a few seasons ago when they thought they weren't going to make the playoffs. They ended up missing the playoffs. They were right to do it. And then they got all the bounces right, and it yielded a tremendous package, including Morgan Barron, who will be on the roster against the Oilers today, Brad Lambert, who was once thought to be a top prospect, and the pick that became Elias Salomonsson, who is Winnipeg's top prospect. So they've done it successfully, but it's not the norm. I think in Winnipeg, they're still waiting and hoping beyond hope that they're going to be able to make a play for a wild card spot. They're playing Connor Hellebuck all the time. Tonight's his 7th game in a row. So all of their aces are in their places, and I don't think they've pulled the chute quite yet on this team.
And that's fair, because it is a weird year and everybody's got, crunch schedules, and some teams ahead of them are going to hit that crunch, and maybe you can climb up the standings. But it looks really, really dire. I will say that. And it's unfortunate because some of these, some of the players on the team that you'd count on, I'll say, Scheifele, Connor for sure, they're having really good years, especially at 5-on-5. And you're, I hate to say wasting, but you'd like this to matter more, right?
100%. And wasting is a fair word. I've written that word. You're at risk of wasting just phenomenal seasons. And these are players maybe even beyond what some people think of as in their offensive prime. Connor's still just 29 years old. Scheifele's on the wrong side of 30. Josh Morrissey's 30. Gabriel Velarde is more of a prime age. But these are your only 4 players who are going, other than Connor Hellebuck when he's been healthy. And you might not be able to count on Mark Scheifele being one of the top handful of centers in the NHL year in and year out every single season. Now that he's going to turn 33, he's going to hit that spot where a lot of guys decline. So you are wasting, in some ways, a tremendous year from a top line, because the bottom 9 isn't scoring at all. And, you know, once you move past those guys that you just named, it's underperformer after underperformer after underperformer, and that's why they're so far down and looking dire.
The Jets, Murat Atesh, our guest from The Athletic on Sports 1440 and the Lowdown with Lowetide. The Jets are a team that I always like their players. They remind me a little bit of the New Jersey Devils of 25 or 30 years ago when Lou was there, where you watch them get, in their case, it was like, you know, Patrick Elias, and you're like, my God, this guy's the perfect player for what he does. And I feel the same way about a lot of Jets players. One of my favorites of the Jets is Dylan DeMello. And I know that, you know, he's a guy who's built and built and built and built. And I just looked at Puck IQ because I really value, you know, those who are playing elite minutes, and his REL number is really strong. What, you know, when we're looking at the Winnipeg defense, how important is DeMello? And I know they've got a lot of really great players around there, but what does he do for them that maybe makes him unique or stand out?
Yeah, he is a player that doesn't catch a lot of eyes, doesn't make a lot of headlines, but for the last several seasons has been a really good partner for Josh Morrissey. They use those two guys against elite competition. Morrissey gets the headlines. He'll be on the long list for the Norris Trophy once again. He'll probably be on Team Canada, right? But nobody's talking about Dylan DeMello. Usually, what Dylan DeMello can do is make that puck retrieval, and he'll do a shoulder check on his way into the corner and remember everything he saw. So when he picks up that puck, he makes a 5-foot, 10-foot outlet pass. It puts his partner Morrissey in a good position. It puts Winnipeg centers in a good position. Breakout is kicked off. Pressure is released. Everything goes the other way. He's not big. He's not particularly fast, but he reads the game so well. He's struggled a little bit this year. And in fact, if you want a story about just things going wrong for Winnipeg, they were up 3-2 against Minnesota just the other day, the last game before tonight. The goalie was pulled. Minnesota's goalie was pulled. Kyle Connor raced down the ice, stole a puck from a Wild defenseman and batted it into the empty net to seal the win, except Dylan DeMello had taken a cross-checking penalty. It negated the goal. Minnesota scored on the power play, and in overtime, Winnipeg found a way to lose. He's had some rough luck, and he's probably not turning as well as he used to, not defending as well as he used to, but he's still a good chemistry fit for Josh Morrissey.
All right, I have to ask about my son, Logan Stanley. I've been reading every once in a while, Jets fans are mad as hell at him, and I get it. I understand. I've always cheered for him. Big guy. If he'd played 35 years ago, he would have been a star. How has it gone this year for Logan Stanley?
He has scored more goals for the Winnipeg Jets this season, and that's 6, than he has total in his career prior to this year. We're talking about guys where, you know, lots of underperformers, lots of people playing at less than half of their career scoring rates. Well, you've got Logan Stanley, who's already set a career best in goals. He's shown confidence as pucks go in for him. He's jumping into plays. He's helping out in transition. He's showing some aggression, hopping in off the offensive blue line when the Jets are in the offensive zone. And, you know, you're looking for a bright spot. This guy has been it. I don't know if he's a top 4 defenseman in the long run, but let me tell you, if you want a bright spot, your son, the 6'7" Logan Stanley, is one for Winnipeg so far.
Well, that's why I've hung with him all these years and all the things I've written about him, because you know how you like what you like as a fan, right? One thing that I really liked that you did, I can't remember when, it was earlier in the month maybe, talking about Gabriel Velarde and him opening up on, you know, some difficult times and moments in his life. This is a guy who, there were times when people considered him to be a bit of a bust, not now, obviously, but Vilardi's story is more interesting than maybe people think if they haven't heard about it.
Yeah, when Gabriel Vilardi, was 11 or 12 years old, he started having panic attacks at home. And he opened up and shared his lifelong struggle with mental health with me for a piece at The Athletic, specifically in case it would help anybody else going through things know that, hey, if you go out and find help, it can help. It can be good coping. And he detailed some of his coping strategies that he uses as an adult. But it's been a long road for him. And imagine being 11 or 12 years old and you've got yourself convinced that for some reason when you go to school tomorrow, you're going to throw up and get sick. So you're so afraid you don't go to school for months at a time. That's a real lived experience of Vilardi. And he'd also seen his dad, his grandma, other people in his family deal with anxiety and panic attacks and maybe not get help and not do the things that they needed to do to cope a little bit better. So right from childhood into teenagehood, he sought out resources. He sought out mental health coaching when he was in the OHL. He did it again in LA, and in Winnipeg, he's had some breakthroughs too. He's got a whole rigorous, I don't want to say routine, but strategies that he uses so that when he's on the ice and he's going, oh my God, I gave the puck away and I didn't get the chance that I wanted. And all of a sudden it's the first intermission and he's got negative self-talk going on. What can he do to break through? And well, he's having yet another good season for the Winnipeg Jets, in part because of that.
Murat, we haven't talked in a long time. We can never let that happen again. Thank you so much for this. Enjoy the game tonight.
Hey, thank you. I will always be happy to come say hi. Thanks for having me.
All right, Murat Tesh from The Athletic. I retweeted the article on Vilardi. It's well worth the read. And it might speak to you, depending upon where you are in your life. It certainly spoke to me. Okay, on the way, Jason Krueger will join us at 1:20 today. At 1 o'clock, we're going to kind of go around again. There's a few things that we need to catch up on. The Oilers have been really active. There are rumors they're going to be even more active. Declan's going to have that for you in two shakes of a lamb's tail, but we will talk about it at 1 o'clock. Gregor at 1:20, and then Declanation's coming up at 1:40. What are we going to be speaking about at 1:40 today, sir?
Yeah, obviously Monday, so it's the Mama MMA segment. There is some news in the boxing world regarding Anthony Joshua in a car crash earlier today in Nigeria. I'm not sure how much there is to talk, about that outside of exactly what was just said, but there's that there. Not a whole lot of MMA talk. Naoya Inoue and Nakatani both won their fights. But no, I was gonna do a Marty Supreme review actually, because that's what I was gonna do.
All right, we'll look forward to it. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 on YouTube. Time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom, 11577 149th Street. Now open 6 days a week. Saturday hours are 10 to 2, and you can visit customfloorsinc.ca to bring your next flooring project to life. Edmonton Oilers, of course, in action tonight at 5:30 on the road versus the Jets. Connor Ingram in at the starter's net for the Oil. Other news concerning the Edmonton Oilers is Noah Philp, who was waived by the club, has been claimed by the Carolina Hurricanes. And reportedly, Andre Mangiapane is on the market and would be willing to waive his no-trade clause to go to a team where he would have a bigger role. In the World Junior Hockey Championship right now, Sweden leads Germany 5-1. 20 seconds into the third period, getting going in about half an hour's time. We'll see Czechia and Finland at 4 today, United States and Slovakia. Then at 6:30, Canada and Denmark. Other games in the NHL today include the Blue Jackets and Sens and Caps and Panthers kicking off the action at 5, as do the Rangers and Carolina Hurricanes. The late games today in the NHL will see the Minnesota Wild in Vegas, San Jose and Anaheim, and Vancouver in Seattle. In the NBA today, getting going at 5 o'clock, Milwaukee and Charlotte, and Phoenix at Washington. The Toronto Raptors also playing host to the Orlando Magic at 5:30. The line for that one currently Orlando at -1.5. And the late game today in the league will see the Dallas Mavericks in Portland to take on the Trailblazers. Other news around the sporting world is the New York Islanders' Matt Barzal has been fined $5,000 for a slash on Marchment that drew a reaction and a scrum from his teammates. And the Toronto Raptors have announced the signing of Mo Bamba. The deal will become fully guaranteed on January 10th. Elsewhere in the NHL, Rasmus Dahlin set to return to the Sabres following his absence. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440 Stingray Radio Station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Weekly NFL giveaways, drink specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round, and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Welcome 2026 with a bang at Rogers Place. It's the Oil Kings New Year's Day fireworks frenzy.
Your Edmonton Oil Kings look to take down their arch rivals, the Red Deer Rebels.
It's a special 2 p.m. New Year's Day puck drop featuring a spectacular on-ice fireworks display after the game.
Plus, score Kelmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is king-sized.
Oil Kings fireworks frenzy, Thursday at 2. Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20.
Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get.
McKenzie's got unpicked through 2 NHL drafts. Here he is. McKenzie walks in and shoots.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or a Buick. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Man, you are playing the good Monday songs, man.
They literally just every song has had Monday in the title. So
I know. They're
Yeah,
all
okay,
really
yeah.
good too. I'm trying to think of another one that I can't.
I got one more in the rotation.
You did Monday, right?
Yeah, by the Mamas and Papas. That was last break.
And then you did
Rainy
Manic
Days and
Monday.
Mondays.
Oh,
Big Mornings. Carpenters. What's it called?
Rainy Days and Mondays always get me down. Yeah.
There's some options.
Okay.
And then Mamma Mia, of course, at 140.
A song we could play, not today, but the next time it rains, is Rainy Night in Georgia. That's a good song.
How about the night the lights went out in Georgia?
Oh, that's good too. Vicki Lawrence. Yeah.
Well, and Reba to some.
Yeah. I'm going to confess something. It makes me less cool than you think I am, but I love the Reba TV show. I love Reba.
I thought didn't it get like a sequel series or something like that later on?
Maybe. I know it's popular, but I think it's one that people diss a lot, but I like it.
You know,
it's because it's Reba. I love Reba.
It was growing up with cable. CMT was channel 18.
Right.
And they was always playing Reba on that, John.
Yeah, you bet.
It's constant.
Yeah, big fan of
It's
Reba.
like TBS running The Office reruns.
I also love Jessica Fletcher in Murder, She Wrote. So I might have a type, kind of a...
How do you feel about
what I mean?
Angela Lansbury?
Oh, I did. She was in The Manchurian Candidate. Perfect role for her. She was excellent. Have you seen the movie?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I haven't seen The Manchurian Candidate.
Okay. It's really good because Brad Pitt isn't in it. Vin, gentlemen, please play Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. Hey, the new season of that show you like apparently is getting a lot of attention. Are you watching it?
I'm not watching it right now. No.
I've watched every episode.
Yeah.
I heard it's bad.
I wouldn't say it's bad, but boy, do we have a lot to tie up with one episode to go. Like, we better really get on that.
If it gets disappointing, you end up risking disappointing your audience, right?
It's like the show a little bit, like season 1 had a certain charm, which was cool. And then not season 2 as much, but season 3 and 4 had a certain kind of fantasy excitement element. And season 5 has kind of captured neither of those. And they're just like, how can we spend all of the budget?
Yeah, I think
it's not bad, but
I think sometimes you write a show, or you're doing a show, or they're doing a show. Somebody's doing a show, and you're just, it's open and it's fun. And then somebody says, "Yeah, we got one more season," and then you got to close everything off, and it doesn't really rhyme very well.
Yeah, but when you've been working on it for 4 flipping years,
well, maybe different writers, right?
Nope, same guys,
same
really?
Duffer
Well, that's good.
Brothers,
same guys.
All right.
It's not bad.
Maybe they've moved on to other things. Maybe they're more interested in their bicycles.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah. Paul says giving up on a young, decent skating, smart, and cheap right-hand center like Philp is just dumb. He should have been taking Henrique's minutes. God, this organization is hard to cheer for sometimes. Well, he's not young. He's 27. And look, here's the thing. If you're the general manager, let's say you're the general manager and you're Stan Bowman, and you'd like Philp to play more, right? You would like to play him more. And the coach who you're going to fire if it doesn't work out, because coaches are always hired to be fired, would prefer somebody else, then you either have to fire the coach or put the player on waivers. Now, they didn't know Philp would be picked up on waivers. I would say that it was reasonable to think he might clear, although he is a right-handed center. But, they obviously felt the risk was there. Lazar is in the organization, and he's not terribly different as a player. And so they lose Philp. And that is life. And would not put it past the Carolina Hurricanes to claim him and then unclaim him a week from now. They have done that in the past. So we'll see. But I hope Phil plays in Carolina and does really well. Derek Ryan did. And they're both U of A alumni. Whoa, for a media that worships Carolina's analytical team, what do we make of this? Well, I think worship is strong. I have a great deal of respect for their analytics team.
You definitely worship their analytics team and Dello in particular.
No, I what really impresses me is the GM is a like one of the things you always worry about, like Parkati is really brilliant, but he's not the GM. When you've got a GM who's got an analytics background, I just think it's a difference maker. So as smart as Dello is, and I know he is, for me, they've got a GM who not necessarily exclusively thinks that way, but I mean the fact that an analytics team did pick him up suggests that they saw something, and I hope they did. I hope he has great success.
And it's all because Billy Bean and the Athletics.
Well, I would say Whitey Herzog.
Billy Bean.
Whitey Herzog did it in the 80s.
And how many people did it after that before
season.
Billy Bean?
Oh, I'm sure lots. But the one that I was familiar with is Whitey Herzog because he took over in 81, 80 maybe, as the manager and general manager. And then he watched the team for a while, and then he put Red Schoendienst in the manager's job, and he went looking for players. And one of the players he found deep in the New York Yankees organization and got for nothing was Willie McGee.
And his helmet.
And he ended up winning an MVP and a World Series, and he was a great, great player. Angela Lansbury was almost the same age as Lawrence Harvey, even though she played his mother. Great, great movie. After watching Tremors, I was amazed to find out that Reba hates guns. Reba was great in Tremors. Manic Monday, we've already played it. Watched the game on Saturday with a good friend who's a Flames fan. He doesn't understand why Mangione, that's the trumpet player, could be a better Calgary Flame than an Edmonton Oiler. Mangiapane, you want more ice time, play better. Well, he's older too, right? You know, and he doesn't really, you know, the Oilers have done this little bit of a flip. They had it in their kit bag, but they use it more, the stretch pass, where you need the winger to get down there, be physical, and get the puck. Mangiapane's more of a finesse player than that. And you know, they don't use him in feature situations, and I think he probably felt he was going to be used in some of those situations. Didn't happen. That's what happens to these guys. There's a trend here. You go back several years, they sign free agents, they're going to play. Lucic was one of them. Play with McDavid. He couldn't play with McDavid. Maroon was better. Maroon cost, you know, like not even $1 million or just over. And they signed a major contract with Lucic that makes them, they had to get rid of Taylor Hall, and Lucic can't play at that level.
They were getting rid of Taylor Hall anyways.
Well, that was a mistake. I'm sorry. It was a mistake. And I love Adam Larson.
But also the idea, the concept that you're like, hey, Milan Lucic, we need you to play next to the fastest player in the league. Couldn't skate. What are we talking about?
Well, Maroon wasn't a great skater either, but he could think along, and he put his stick on the ice. You know, Maroon made playing with McDavid easy because he did smart things. Yeah, I'm a big guy. Nobody can move me. I'll just skate to the front of the net, and I'll put my stick on the ice, and I'll probably score 20, and he did. And I just don't understand why, you know, that was a one-off and why Lucic and others couldn't figure that out. But anyway, that's ancient history.
So by the time Lucic lumbered his ass down the ice, puck was already coming back the other way. Either Connor McDavid scored or it bounced off the pads.
Yeah, it's the true. It's the true. I feel the Oilers lost the game on Saturday by not putting out their second power play unit on the back-to-back penalties to give the first unit a rest. Triple C in a truck. That's interesting. I saw that, and I did wonder about it. I mean, you really you're emptying the tank there. They just looked discombobulated. They looked like they had the tryptophan going. That's what I believe. You know, we've seen so many times this organization. They did not play badly. I wasn't going to do a rant about it, but I thought they could have been better. They could have been sharper. Calgary was doing what they Florida Panthers did, which is beating the Oilers to pucks and being right on the edge and maybe a little filthy. And it's surprising how often the Oilers get off their game if you do that in the early portion of the game. I'm not saying they give up, but they make it harder on themselves than they have to. They're still the most skilled team on the planet. Boys, do you think the Oilers sign these free agents with the carrot of playing McDavid and Draisaitl, then sign and get shoved to the third and fourth lines with meh for ice time? I think that's probably it. I said not long ago that if I was Daryl Cates, I would tell my general manager, if you sign somebody on July 1st, which is when the big money goes out, you're fired. And until I see them sign a good, astute July 1 guy, then I'm going to stay with that. They waste money like they have wasted more money than Carter has liver pills, these Edmonton Oilers general managers. And the good thing is they all get no movement clauses. Everybody gets a new move. It's like Oprah. You get a no movement clause, and you get a no movement clause. And that's why they are here. They have to make Mangiapane waive because they've got no alternative. So now the assignment is go find a team that'll play him. This is ridiculous.
That's my problem with the NHL. People rip on the NBA for like load management and the superstars being soft and stuff like that. And I understand it. But my version of that is the NHL handing out no trade and no move clauses like they are candy on Halloween.
Exactly right. And to guys who like
Matthias Janmark, like, what are we doing?
Fourth line guys. God.
Like, let's take all the serious pills in the world. I know the pharmacy's open.
Man. And when was the last Hyman?
Yeah. Wait, last trade or free?
No, free agent signing that really was a home run. Because
you wouldn't say Corey Perry? They went to
honestly, yeah, like
I guess that was a trade. That wasn't. No, wait, he got waived then picked
well,
up.
it was an in season thing like Roslovic almost, right? I'm talking about July 1. I'll go back and look. It's like, here, old guy, take some money and be no damn good in the winter. And the fans will get on you, but the check cashes.
Once Connor Brown got his first goal, he was pretty good.
Actually, he was very much like Trent Frederick in that he had to recover, right? And then once he did, he was fine. And the year he signed for $1 million, as far as I'm concerned, Connor Brown can roam free throughout the earth, and I'll never say a bad thing about him.
That did look bad for a while, though.
It did. It did.
Well, I'm not saying it didn't look bad. I remember sitting in the basement with buddies watching Battle of Alberta, and they're like, I can't believe this bum.
Well,
a mere 12 minutes later, he scored a goal.
It always works like that, All right, 1:15. Jason Gregor is on the way. We're going to talk to Jason about the Oilers, the NFL weekend, and more. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
When it snows and you have a Honda, let it blow, let it blow, let it blow. Ditch the driveway shovel because right now at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo, save up to $400 on Honda dual-stage snowblowers. Take whatever winter throws at you and throw it back with iconic Honda reliability. Available for a limited time only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert and always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
This holiday season, bring the party home with the one and only Singing Machine Wi-Fi machine. With 2 microphones included and more than 20 voice effects, the fun can begin. Find it online at singingmachine.com.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440. Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It's their Wish and Win event right now at wolfgmcbuick.com. Happy New Year. Hope it's going well for you. If you got everything you wanted during the holiday season, I did well. I had a windfall Christmas. Did you get anything you liked? You did? Okay. Declan didn't because Buffalo lost.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That wasn't great for me. Listen, life is about more than sports, okay? And Christmas is about more than sports.
Is Declan ill? Did he just say that life is about more than sports?
Yeah, you're right. That's a telltale sign I'm lying. Hey, we got Jason, though.
Okay.
How about
is he on
that?
the line? Oh, there you go. Jason Krueger joins us now. How was your holiday, sir?
That was very good. You know, it's lots of shoveling, but you know what? Could be worse. Today's beautiful. It's nice out. So just after -30, you enjoy the -5.
It feels like, you could just wear a shirt outside, right? Like it's nothing after going through what we went through.
I think my dog's been on the porch for about an hour and a half. Used to be like 8 seconds in and out, but now she's just hanging out, sun tanning. She's enjoying it.
Well, and you know what? Outside is great for dogs. All right. Oilers, I can't say they played, poorly. Calgary played really, really well. They hit like 5 or 4 posts. And so there's a story to tell there. I really do think they have to do something with the third line, though.
Well, that's why Rostovic's going to play center tonight on the third line. They want a little speed there, so he'll play with Janmark and Frederick. Henrique, I think, is going to go where he's suited. He's a fourth-line center at this stage of his career. Wins face-offs. Is pretty responsible defensively. Doesn't give up a ton. So, I like that. I think eventually, as I said this, at some point in the new year, Nugent Hopkins is going to be your third-line center. I still think the Oilers need a top 6 winger, another one. And then, away you go. Kapanen will come back. They lost Phil to Carolina today. I know some people are going to freak out like they usually do, thinking, oh, my God, they lost a 27-year-old who's never been an NHL player. But, Clattenburg got activated. He'll go down to the minors. And, so they're getting some healthy bodies back, but not guys that are going to help them. Like Kapanen and Wallman are the guys that they're waiting for.
And as far as Philp is concerned, not to in any way criticize Philp, who's really gotten the most out of his ability and made it to the NHL. But Lazar duplicates a lot of his skills. Fair?
Yeah, it doesn't skate as well, but Lazar is a much more proven player. And the difference is Curtis Lazar, he'll hit somebody. He'll be physical. And Philp, if you look at him specimen-wise, 6'3", 200 and some pounds, can skate well. You're like, oh, this guy would be great. Now, he's going to fit Carolina's style, Al. They skate, they forecheck, they're not overly aggressive. He'll fit in very well there, right? And so sometimes you need a fit. I think he needed a second opinion, so hopefully it works out for him. But I just like people freaked out when Raphael Lavoie got claimed by Vegas. Like the odds of Noah Philp coming back to haunt you is pretty low, right? I hope he ends up having a career and gets to play more. That would be outstanding because you know what? Any guy who's close, I'd love to see them become a full-time NHLer because it's damn hard. I think people underestimate how hard it is. And, the difference sometimes between a guy who plays 10 years in the American League and a guy who plays 8 years in the NHL or 10 years in the NHL on fourth line is incredibly thin. Just sometimes the guy in the fourth line just finds a role, carves out a role for himself. And I think Noah Philp, when he played, when the Oilers early on, they had no energy, Al. There's a young guy like Clattenburg. People went crazy because all he did was play with some energy. Yeah. Right? That's all he did. He played with some energy. And, Philp should have been able to play with that. He doesn't have to fight anybody, although he is tough. But, so hopefully this is a little bit of a wake-up call for him to say, okay, now I'm out of the organization. I'm going to a new place. But, Rod Brind'Amour, Carolina, they have a great regular season record, right? They're a great regular season team. But do I think that Carolina is the same team they've always been now? They work hard. They got a good system. They don't have top-end players at the end of the day, and they're not going to.
Speaking of waivers, Alec Regula was picked up a year ago on waivers, and then he had the missed the season due to injury. He came back this year, but you mentioned about struggle to establish yourself in the NHL. I think he's kind of going through that right now. Looks like he'll be a healthy scratch tonight. Had a kind of a bouncing puck that cost him on a kind of a fluky play. But that does goes to show that it's hard to make it in this league, and you lose a little bit of confidence, and sometimes you get overwhelmed.
Yeah, Regula's been fighting the puck a little bit. It's his first year. Look at Ty Emberson last year and the difference between him last year and now, right? I think now Ty Emberson is still not a dominant player, but Ty Emberson is an every night guy in the NHL, and lots of the concerns about Ty Emberson's game have calmed down this year.
Yeah,
right. He's making a few more plays at the puck, right? He looks more confident and assertive, and that'll happen. Like it's hard unless you're like an elite player to come into the league and have success right away. So I'm definitely not giving up on Alec Regula. He's a young player, he's got size. And, I think him sitting out, like there's only two ways to go. You either respond to it and you get better and you work at it and you don't let it bury you. Like Emberson, right? Like Emberson kind of lost his spot in the lineup last year, right? And then look, he came back this year, got a contract, and now he's playing better, right? He's a little bit more confident, a little bit more assertive, and I don't see any reason why Regula can't kind of take notes from that and do the same thing.
You mentioned earlier, Jason Gregor joins us. He'll be on the radio at 2:00 today. You mentioned earlier Kapanen and Wallman and their return. We're looking maybe early January?
Yeah. For both of them, it'll be early January. Now, when? I can't say with any sort of certainty, Al, but, they're progressing. Like Kapanen had very unfortunate. He caught a rut and kind of re-aggravated his injury. Wallman just ended up, it was a bad bruise that ended up being worse. And once the swelling went down, they noticed I had a slight hairline fracture. So once that heals, he should be back. And early January, but I can't say when, if it's the 10th or not, who knows?
So look into your crystal ball here. We've talked about center, maybe wing, maybe defense, maybe right defense. If you had to make a list of possible deadline priorities, how would you rank them for the Oilers?
Well, to me, number one for sure is a scoring winger, and ideally a left shot. Now, there might not be one, so you know what? Hey, if we get a winger that can play is a right shot and plays the left side, no problem. But they need a top scoring winger. That'd be priority number one. Priority number two, it's a good question. Like if Wallman's back, I've really liked Spencer Stastny. So I don't know if they need another D-man, right? If you get, then you have 8, right? Because you have Stastny and Wallman, and then one of Emberson, there's Regula. So they have Stillman who can play as a number 8 if need be, right? So you only have so many bullets in the chamber at the trade deadline, right? Now maybe you want to get a veteran defenseman now for a 5th round pick or a 4th round pick. You can do it, but I'd probably look at. I would definitely want one scoring winger, and if I could get another winger with some size, that might be something I'd look at too.
There's no goalie controversy here, but Connor Ingram is showing pretty well in a small sample size. Where are you with him? Do you just, they're playing Pickard tonight, but do you just keep him in the rotation until Jari is able to play again, and then you make your call between two? Or they're not going to keep 3 goalies, I don't think. So they'll have to make the call at some point.
I would think so, but you never know with injuries and how long Jari's out. But I think Ingram, he started 3 games in a row. It's kind of obvious to me they want to see what he's doing here. And, he came in at a time where the Oilers are playing better defensively. And guess what? When you play better defensively, your goalies look better. Now, we'll see if eventually they're going to have a game, Al, where they're going to be pretty leaky, and Ingram's going to have to get called upon to make some saves. And, we'll see how he does. And, he's been fine, but he also hasn't been, ridiculously tested thus far, right? Which is okay. That's, like I've always said, the Oilers aren't built to have their goalie stealing games most nights. It's just not how they're built, right? Very few teams are built that way. So, when the Oilers play better defensively, shockingly, the Oilers goalie numbers look better.
Yeah, it's true. Jets, are they, I watched them this year and they're inconsistent. They're, they got some guys playing fantastically well, others not at all. Hallebuck will play tonight. He's clearly their best goaltender. But I'm not saying the season is gone, but it's going to be hard for veterans to get up for games here when they're this far behind in what is an impossible division. And the Winnipeg's in trouble now.
Yeah, well, what are they? 5 points behind Utah and San Jose, right, for the second walker. That's like they're not even thinking about top three. Like that ship has sailed, right? So in a way, that's probably a good thing. So they just say, hey, all we got to do is we got to be better than Utah. We got to be better than San Jose. Maybe Anaheim if they fall back down, right? So I think, like, I look at the Jets forward lines, Al, and you're saying, hey, like they got a pretty solid third line. Like their fourth line's a bunch of veterans guys who are okay. Like there's lots in that team. I don't love their defense core, right? And Hellebuck's just been meh. Like their team defense, he hasn't been able to save them that much. He did early on, but then when he went out, and since he's come back, he looks like a guy who's missed a month of the season. So the Jets, I'll say this: they've lost 5 in a row, all by 1 goal. It's usually a sign of a team that's desperate for a win. They're playing better hockey. I would argue that they kind of got screwed over here a little bit. Like if you're not going to call that hit on Morrissey, which I don't even think was that bad, if we're being honest, right? He didn't get hit from behind into the boards. He was along the boards, but he went up the side of the boards, right? He didn't go directly into the board. So, but if you don't call that, you sure as heck shouldn't call the DeMello one, because that was embarrassing, right? And so, but again, even if you take a penalty, the average is 20% now. So you're just, hey, we got to kill off the right one. They didn't kill it off. And that's what losing teams do, right? They find ways to lose. And so the Oilers have had success in Winnipeg. They were really sloppy, I thought, in the first 30 minutes against Calgary. They came on in the third period. Wasn't enough. But Edmonton's, like, they still can't win 3 in a row.
No.
As good as they play, they can't win 3 in a row. They can't put together 3 solid performances. So it's something like there's only them and the freaking St. Louis Blues who have not won 3 games in a row all year. So it's kind of a wild stat, but I think the Oilers do have to, like, they got to get going here sooner than later and some consistency. And Winnipeg's a team, man. Like, the Jets are better than their record, but the record is who they are right now. So take advantage of a team who's not playing up to their potential.
Final question is about the Mangiapane rumors, but also Trent Frederick. Some of these veterans that are, come in have had a real hard time. And we're, turning the calendar here halfway through the season later this week. Do you see, Mangiapane, according to Elliot Friedman, is willing to move if they can find him a place where he can play a lot more? Do you see that as something we're going to be talking about in January, or is it just, they're going to see if there's somebody out there who'd be willing to make a move?
Well, 100%. I said it 2 weeks ago. Then I'd even mentioned that Mangiapane is in a situation here. He wants another contract. That was a big reason why Arvidsson left. Right, I even wrote about it, Oilers Nation, that the guy who everybody's like, the Oilers have no cap space, and I'm like, oh, the Oilers have lots of cap space because Mangiapane he'll agree to get traded. He has a no trade clause, not a no move clause, right? And there's a difference, because the no trade clause, if you want to play jerk, you can say, well, geez, we'll just put you in the minors, right, to end the season, and that's not great. So I do believe wholeheartedly, if there's a team out there, now that's the question, right? If there's a team that's out there, but Mangiapane isn't going to be looking to want to go to a team that's like a cup contender, like in an ideal world, but that's not going to happen. He's going to want to go to a team where he can play some minutes, play well next year. So hopefully he can get himself another contract that's going to be more than, league minimum at the way he's playing right now. That's all he get in the new deal. So I can see why players, sometimes it just doesn't work, right? Look at Mason Marshman, hell of a player, didn't work in Seattle of all places. So sometimes it just doesn't work. So yeah, I think Mangiapane, I've thought that for a few weeks. I think it's a no-brainer. He'll be moved by the deadline.
So what did you have time to watch a lot of the football and other, World Juniors, a lot of hockey around Christmas time? Did you take anything in, and what impressed you?
Well, the Bears game last night was unreal.
Yeah.
So that was a hell of a game. I watched the World Junior game, the part of the first one for Canada. And, it was an entertaining game. Canada, I don't think has found their stride just yet, but, this year's World Juniors, there's a lot of kind of parity. I'm kind of interested in the playoff round, Al, because, one 1 versus 4 in each conference, like there could easily be an upset there. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. There doesn't look like there's a wagon, really dominant team at the World Juniors this year, which is good.
Yeah. I thought Latvia played, I'm sure Speck was thrilled about how well Latvia played against Canada. Late penalty obviously had an impact on that, but World Juniors is always fun. It's weird though, for many years the Oilers had like 8 or 10 guys. It's hard to find anybody that I think there's 2 guys who are Oilers property or have the rights to and the entire World Juniors. It's a different world. Obviously, the Oilers are contenders for the Stanley Cup every year, so that's not what they're interested in. They're in a different, part of the winning cycle. But it's pretty wild to watch this just as a fan of Canada or whomever.
Yeah, well, that's to me that's a better thing if you're a fan of the Oilers. Like, you can't have everything. You can't. Well, I want to have a great NHL team, and I want to have the deepest prospect pool. Like, it's not going to happen, right? You give away your prospects. But the funny thing is, Al, the Oilers prospect pool actually looks pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Like, you have guys who are very close to being NHLers, right? Like, Noah Phil just got claimed. He just got claimed by another team. So somebody thinks, hey, this guy can play in the league. You got Ike Howard. You got Quinn Hudson, right? You got Josh Szymanski down in the minors. Like, they got some guys down there, Clattenburg, all for different roles, right? But they've got some guys now for maybe the first time in a few years where you look, and I haven't even mentioned Robbie Yarventi. There's another guy. So I think they have 5 guys who in the next few years, we'll get a cup of coffee and then we'll see if that turns into a full-fledged meal all the time. But they've got some young guys who are young, but not like 18 and 19 young. They're 22 and 23 and 24 young. And that's way better. That's more realistic that they could come up and be contributors.
Beautiful. All right. What's coming up on the show today?
Well, Woody's going to join us. We're going to talk goaltending, of course, Connor Hellebuck and more, kind of preview Hellebuck, also Swayman. Tough week for the Oilers. We've got some good goalies this week to face off against. Kind of give our final thoughts, Al, of course, coming up on the Canada Olympic team is going to be announced, and we'll see if there's any surprises, any debates on who's there. And we'll talk Oilers and Jets a lot, recap some NFL, and even the Elks trade of Niles Morgan, which I think was a good trade for the Green and Gold. Frees up some money. That it just shows kind of where they're going as an organization. Played 5 years here. He had 2 really good years with over 100 tackles when the team wasn't very good. And, he's getting a little bit older. They free up some cap space. They got good young linebackers. So I think the Elks are actually on the arrows up defensively. That J.J. Ross signing, which they announced on Christmas, which is kind of odd to me, but or Christmas Eve, whenever it was, that shouldn't go under the radar, Al. That's a pretty big signing for the Elks.
Beautiful. Look forward to it. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Al.
There you go. Jason Krueger. He'll be live on the radio at 2:00 today. And the Elks they're being aggressive. I was told years and years ago, CFL teams, they have a bunch of contracts, and every once in a while they'll just throw something out to get into the news. But he's right. In the Christmas period, that's a unusual time because people's attentions are elsewhere. But they got it done, and that's the most important thing. On the way, Declan Krueger. It's Mama MMA, some boxing stuff too, is straight ahead. And I suspect we'll get into this Green Bay Packers quarterback situation, which is very important. And you can expect a major report right on this show on Friday. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com and call today to get started.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. But hurry, it ends January 2nd. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. But hurry in now, it ends January 2nd. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they make a minimum $50 deposit with code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for a $50 free bet. Start playing with your game sense today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vinny and Donnan have to offer. Visit vinnyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Picture this. You're sleeping and you're awake, but it's a good day because you're about to make your way to McDonald's to pick up some breakfast. Fast forward, you're there. But what's this? You can now get all those breakfast classics penny style with rich, creamy hollandaise-style sauce. A happy little tear rolls down your cheek. You grab your small McCafe premium roast coffee, still just $1 plus tax every day, and see. Get up and at 'em with the Egg McMuffin. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Time for Declinations Mamma Mia, presented by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Article, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth double E football coverage online, elksnation.ca. With that, we turn the microphone over to my esteemed colleague, Declan Krueger.
Esteemed colleague.
Yeah, I think that means you've steamed.
You know what we have going? We have a bit of a Mississippi Burning situation where I'm Willem Dafoe and you're Gene Hackman.
Oh, man, Gene Hackman was so good in that. What did he do to that guy with his hands? I'm not sure.
Oh.
What happened there? Was that, what did he grab? I don't remember now.
You know, that Willem Dafoe also, by the way, awesome actor. I've come to realize I'm a really big Willem Dafoe guy.
He's great. So is Hackman.
Hackman was obviously one of the best to ever do it. French Connection.
Underrated right now.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe, underrated.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I like him better than your guy as an actor.
I like Willem Dafoe movies, or I like Willem Dafoe's acting more than
You seen the
Brad
Florida
Pitt's
Project?
acting. No, I haven't.
No.
Not much to talk about in the MMA world. In the boxing world, Nakatani won. Maybe shouldn't have. He's going to fight anyway. Anyway's incredible. One of the best pound for pound boxers in the world, but probably not maybe as good as I thought he was. Like he shows a little more gaps than some of the other top pound for pound boxers like Crawford and Usyk. MMA world, nothing coming up until January 24th, I believe it is. UFC, it's going to be Gaethje and Pimblett for the interim lightweight championship of the world, which maybe now we're talking about is actually going to be for the vacant undisputed title. I don't know. We'll get to it when the time draws nearer. I feel bad. There is not really a lot of ammunition for this segment today, but I did see the next great sports movie this past weekend in Marty Supreme with Timothée Chalamet. Listen, it's kind of the first third of the movie is a ping pong movie, and then it's just like a classic Safdie bang 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 comedy of errors movie.
You said a ping pong movie.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give us a thumbnail of the ping pong movie?
Man, so basically Timothy Chalamet is this guy, this young guy, like 23-year-old from
Young
New
Jewish
York.
man from New York.
He's trying to like chase his dream of being the best ping pong player in the world. He is a premier ping pong player.
Ping pong.
He goes to the British Open.
Oh, you
and
mean table tennis?
Table tennis.
Right.
And he'll tell you it's table tennis in the movie. Listen, Timothy Chalamet, I mean, we're talking white boy of the year. Because
Is that an award?
Joe
or is
Burrow's
that a
got
real
one.
Award.
Jack Harlow's got one. I was runner up a couple of times. But this year it's Timothy. Like, he was so good in that movie. It was awesome. Go watch it. Take your family to the theater. Get your popcorn.
Don't take your family. Go with everyone over 18 in your family.
Is it better than There Will Be Blood?
No.
But that's also like you just picked a really, really. It's
What
really
about,
good.
Is it better than No Country for Old Men?
No, again, that's
Is it better than Shawshank Redemption?
No.
Look, we are comparing right now. You're comparing golden apples to like
a really good apple.
celery.
No, it's a really good movie.
I know it's a really good movie, but like we're taking the
Is it better than Miller's Crossing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It was really good.
Is it better than The Big Lebowski?
Yes, I think so. For sure. I'm not the biggest Big Lebowski guy in the world.
I like Big Lebowski.
I like it, but I hate to use the phrase, but maybe a touch overrated.
Okay.
Listen, I
We've
wish
had this conversation before, actually.
I wish Large Farva texted in as well.
What are we doing here?
Boxing news: Anthony Joshua had a bad accident in Nigeria. His manager and trainer passed away. Yeah, I woke up to that this morning when I checked my phone. Is one of the first things I saw. Anthony Joshua obviously just fought Jake Paul, former 2-time heavyweight world champion. He was in a car accident in Nigeria, visiting on a bit of a vacation. He was in a collision.
There was a fatality, right?
Yeah, two.
Oh,
One of his strength trainers, and then Large Farva is saying his manager as well. I didn't know it was his manager. I thought it was something else. I'll take Large Farva's word for it. A really, 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 really sad situation. But I also I don't know what to like. I don't want to harp on this bad news. I don't know what to say. It's worth mentioning. Obviously, it's big news in the sporting world. Rest in peace, of course, to those two. And I hope
we'll get more information. But what we do know is that it's a terrible story. It's really too bad.
Yeah. No, listen, I feel bad. I really don't. There's not much going on in the MMA world right now. I wanted to give my Marty Supreme review because Timothy, he's so good in the movie. Like his acting performance, so good.
So
we're talking best actor at the Oscars.
What does he have to do, Chalamet, to become a better actor than Brad Pitt?
He already is.
He might already be. Yeah.
Again, no disrespect to
That's a
Brad
high
Pitt,
bar.
but
dude, I think Timothy Chalamet is going to go down as like one of the best actors ever.
Listen, all right, here we go. I'm going to say it. Timothy. So I don't know. Bill Simmons said this thing about like the guy, first call. You're making a movie. Who's your first call?
Leo, always.
It was Leo. Timothy Chalamet is making a push right now to be the next, first call. There's a lot of people out there. Timothy Chalamet, he's pushing right up against it because obviously now Leo is more or less picking projects.
So Leo's in the Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, he's in like rarefied air.
Right.
We're talking about a guy right now who's like, he's had a Titanic moment already and all these things. Like Timothy Chalamet.
His resume is insane. He's not
Timothy
even
Chalamet
30.
is the next great. Okay. Like Timothy Chalamet is him. Like we are watching a superstar.
Think like James Dean, but a better actor.
Yeah.
And slightly less cool.
James Dean was an overactor. That was his issue. You're not listening to me.
You're tearing me apart.
Big Tim is that guy. I was blown away. Did you see this on Christmas?
I saw it on Sunday.
I saw this movie on Christmas Day. Packed theater.
Yep.
Packed theater.
Did you have
Was yours
popcorn?
packed?
Yeah, ours was packed.
I did not have popcorn. I had a bag of Twizzlers and a root beer.
Nails.
The whole Twizzlers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The fact that I went to go watch a movie about table tennis starring Timothy Chalamet, big name, with a Safdie brother. Safdie brothers have broken up. They're making movies separately now. And the movie theater was packed with all kinds of different people. I was like, oh yeah, Timothy Chalamet is him. Like his movies are what people want to go see. And he is so good. Josh Safdie is also incredible. You can see which Safdie brother had the most impact on what movies they were making because they also made a movie together called Uncut Gems starring Adam Sandler. Really good. Best performance of Sandler's career. And through the whole thing, you are just filled with anxiety of like, oh my God, he's going to die. Like this guy is somehow going to find a way to get himself killed. Like he just keeps making terrible mistakes and just pushing things and pushing things and pushing things. Now, Uncut Gems ends in a very different way than Marty Supreme does, because it's sort of Marty Supreme ends on a high note, but he is a terrible person, just like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. And through, as Declan said, a comedy of errors, things actually break his way, finds a way to Japan to compete in an exhibition match, and then finds a way back to the. It was incredible. I was blown away. The music was awesome. Gwyneth Paltrow was really good in the movie. I really like Gwyneth Paltrow in that. I'm a little concerned, though. Mr. Wonderful said he was a vampire in it, and yet this is now a glaring plot hole. He's been alive since 1601. He's a vampire. He was walking around in the daylight like nobody's business.
Well, maybe he found the anecdote or the what do
antidote?
I mean? Antidote, yeah.
To being a vampire? Possibly.
Well, maybe he's got a shield.
So, second best vampire movie of the year. I don't think this is my favorite movie of the year. I would put Sinners and probably One Battle After Another ahead of it.
The problem with vampire movies is you already know a little bit of the plot.
A little bit, unless they subvert expectations, much like Sinners did.
I feel like you could kind of say that about every movie, though.
No,
except a table tennis movie. No idea what they're going to do in a table
driving
tennis
Miss
movie.
Daisy. Maybe he could drive Miss Daisy like to
off a
drink
bridge
or something. You know, I mean, you don't know.
What if you started walking Miss Daisy?
Well, I mean, but what about Shawshank Redemption? You know, you have to watch it to know it. Terrible name for the movie. I think it cost them millions of dollars.
Well, the book was originally titled Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, which would have been, you know, I don't know what you would call that movie. Best movie I've ever seen.
You couldn't just call it Shawshank?
Yeah. But Redemption, like it's such a perfect movie.
Mm-hmm. Also, I want to say one more thing on Marty Supreme and Big Tim Chalamet before we move on, because I think this is incredibly important. I think it was February, Timothée Chalamet won a SAG award for Best Actor. I was really hoping he would win the Oscar for playing Bob Dylan, because I thought he was phenomenal. But he wins the SAG award, only award he won on that whole tour. And he gets up there and he gives a very, very quick speech about talking about how he wants to be one of the greats, and how, you know, this is an artistic job that they all have. And so it's hard to say, you know, oh, I want to be one of the great ones, whatever. But everyone sort of was like, man, Timmy, really, really cocky and full of himself. What a dick. Nah, man, he earned that right. He is like, and he had just finished rapping Marty Supreme as like they were on this tour for him trying to win this award. He got this role 5 years ago. He's been practicing ping pong every day for 5 years. He booked Bob Dylan in the middle and was learning.
I think it's longer. I think it was like 7 or 8.
Was it that long? Played ping pong every day, learning how to play a guitar like Bob Dylan, like master of his craft.
Do you guys ever played table tennis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you good at it?
No.
It's fun.
Do you, like, is your serve really impossible to return?
No. I'm terrible at table tennis. We can get some good rallies going, but once the speed gets up there, I'm in trouble. The Wii table tennis, dangerous. Really good at that. Unstoppable serve on that one.
Scott Hall, hey, Al and Deck, Mississippi Burning with both Hackman and Defoe. What a flick. Very accurate. Yeah, it's, you know. So it's not better than There Will Be Blood, though.
No.
There Will Be Blood is unsettling in a way that it lingers with me to this day.
Yeah, like There Will Be Blood is like, we're talking about an all-time great movie.
We're talking about what was
like all
voted,
time.
Was I think it was the third greatest movie of this century so far per the New York Times and all of its voters.
Yeah, it's really just, you know, great performance. Who was the lead in that movie?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right. I thought it was Brad Pitt, but it was Daniel Day-Lewis.
Hey, I know this is a bit, but Daniel Day-Lewis, for my money, best actor of all time.
You know what I love about him, and I don't know if I agree with you, but I could agree with you, is that he is. If you look at his list, his of all of his movies, it's never Daniel Day-Lewis in. It's he becomes whatever the character is,
Daniel
and you
Day-Lewis
sort of
as
you kind of lose the fact that it's Daniel Day-Lewis because he's just so damn good at being the guy.
Yeah,
he's
not even the most. His most unsettling character is Bill the Butcher from
Yes.
Gangs of New York,
Yeah.
and it's not remotely close. He's so charismatic in that role, and then he just starts throwing knives at people. You're like, damn.
We really had Daniel and Leo in the same movie. We were lucky.
Yeah, too bad it sucked.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our sports program today. The Edmonton Oilers play Winnipeg tonight. There will be blood. It's hockey. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. Jason Gregor is straight ahead, talk NFL weekend, and of course the Oilers, and some roster moves made and some roster moves anticipated. Lots of news surrounding the Edmonton Oilers today, and he'll have it all for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please enjoy your day.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Every fresh, chef-crafted gourmet meal, handcrafted from scratch, fresh ingredients, and arriving right at your door, fully cooked, ready to heat, eat, and repeat. Heat, eat, and repeat. Meals.loca.ca. Edmonton Oilers in action tonight, 5:30 puck drop versus the Winnipeg Jets. Connor Ingram in at the starter's net. Other Oilers news is Noah Philp, who was waived by the club, has been claimed by the Hurricanes, and reportedly Andrew Mangiapane is on the market and would be willing to waive his no-trade clause to go to a team where he would have a bigger role. Other games in the NHL, we'll see the Blue Jackets and Sens, Caps and Panthers, Rangers and Hurricanes all getting the day's action going at 5. The late games today in the league, we'll see the Wild and Golden Knights at 8, the Sharks and Ducks, and the Canucks and Kraken. World Junior Hockey Championship scores earlier today. It was Sweden over Germany 8-1. Right now, Czechia currently leading Finland 1-0 with 11:24 to go in the first period. Shots on goal 5-1 for Czechia. United States and Slovakia will play at 4 today, and Denmark and Canada will go at 6:30. In the NBA, 2 games tipping off the action at 5, Milwaukee and Charlotte, and Phoenix and Washington. The late game today in the league, we'll see the Dallas Mavericks in Portland to take on Scoot Henderson and the Blazers. Portland currently minus 2.5-point favorites for that one. Elsewhere, Matt Barzal has been fined $5,000 for a slash on Marchment. Toronto Raptors have signed Mo Bamba, with the deal becoming fully guaranteed on January 10th, and Rasmus Dahlin has returned to the Buffalo Sabres. I'm Declan Krueger. Up next is the Jason Gregor Show. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.